Peppa Pig, Strawberries. Grandpa Pig is showing Peppa and George the strawberry he has grown.
"Why is it hiding in a little house, Grandpa?"
asked Peppa.
"Because the cheeky birds have eaten the rest of my strawberries, and I need to protect this last one,"
says Grandpa Pig. Grandpa Pig tells Peppa that they can still eat strawberries. He knows the perfect place to go.
"Everybody in the car," he says. "It's time to visit the strawberry farm." "Have you come to pick strawberries?"
asked Miss Rabbit when they arrive.
"Yes, please, Miss Rabbit,"
says Peppa excitedly.
"Then you've come to the right place. We've got nothing but strawberries,"
says Miss Rabbit.
"Pick as many as you like."
Miss Rabbit takes Peppa, George, Granny Pig and Grandpa Pig out to the strawberry fields and gives them each a basket to put their strawberries in.
"Wow!"
gasped Peppa.
"There are so many strawberries."
Pedro Pony and his family are at the strawberry farm too.
"Hello, Pedro,"
cries Peppa.
"Have you picked a lot of strawberries?" "Yes,"
replies Pedro.
"but my mummy and daddy keep eating them."
Mr. and Mrs. Pony sigh. They have eaten too many strawberries. Peppa and George giggle. They love skipping along, picking strawberries and putting them in their baskets.
"I must say, these strawberries do look lovely,"
says Granny Pig.
"The real test is to see if the strawberries taste any good,"
says Grandpa Pig, picking up a big juicy strawberry and biting into it.
"Actually, that is rather good."
Granny Pig eats a strawberry too.
Scrumptious.
Granny and Grandpa Pig eat lots of strawberries. Peppa and George are very good at picking strawberries and have nearly filled up their baskets. Peppa sings a song as they pick up the strawberries.
"Strawberry, strawberry, juicy, red and sweet. Strawberry, strawberry, they're so nice to eat."
Peppa and George's baskets are full of strawberries, but Granny and Grandpa Pig's baskets are empty.
"Granny, Grandpa, where are your strawberries?"
asked Peppa.
"In our tummies,"
replies Grandpa Pig.
"Maybe it's time to go home,"
says Granny Pig, rubbing her tummy. Danny Dog and his family has just arrived at the farm, ready to pick some strawberries. "Wow, look at all these lovely strawberries," says Captain Dog.
"Don't say that word,"
groans Grandpa Pig, holding his tummy. Granny and Grandpa Pig have eaten too many strawberries.
"Thank you for all the strawberries, Miss Rabbit,"
says Peppa.
"Now we can go home and make strawberry jam for everyone."
Say Granny and Grandpa Pig.
"Maybe we'll do that tomorrow, Peppa."
Peppa and George love strawberries. Everyone loves strawberries. Peppa Pig, Delphine Donkey. This is Peppa's friend, Delphine Donkey. Hooray! Delphine lives in France.
Wow!
Peppa speaks English. Delphine speaks French. Hello, says Peppa. Bonjour, says Delphine. Delphine lives in a city called Paris. Peppa and her family like to go and visit. Sometimes we travel on a train, says Peppa. And sometimes we travel on a boat. Peppa and Delphine love exploring Paris together. They go to parks, jump in puddles and visit cafes.
Wow.
Would you like a croissant? asked Delphine. Says Peppa. Yes, please. In the holidays, Delphine comes to stay at Peppa's house. They sleep at each end of Peppa's bunk bed. I like sharing with you, says Delphine. Peppa has lots of fun with her friend Delphine. They don't see each other very often. But that makes it extra special when they do.
Hooray!
Peppa loves Delphine Donkey. Everyone loves Delphine Donkey. The end. Peppa Pig, Peppa Meets the Queen. Peppa and her family are watching television. Suddenly, there is a special announcement from the Queen. The Queen, the Queen! Peppa cheers. Hello to you all, the Queen says. Today I have decided to give an award to the hardest working person in the country.
Wow!
The hardest working person in the country is Miss Rabbit. At the supermarket, Miss Rabbit is closing the shop when Mr. Zebra the postman presents her with a golden letter. Miss Rabbit, please come to my palace to get a medal for all your hard work. Bring friends, all the best, the Queen. I can't visit the Queen, I've got too much work to do, Miss Rabbit panics. Don't worry, Peppa says. The Queen has made it a holiday. It is the day Miss Rabbit visits the Queen. Peppa and her friends are going too. We're off to see the Queen, we're off to see the Queen. E-I-I-D-O, we're off to see the Queen. Here we are, Miss Rabbit squeaks.
Wow!
Look at all the fancy stuff. Woof, Danny Dog says. Don't touch anything, Miss Rabbit warns. Where is the Queen? Emily Elephant asks. Queen! Susie Sheep calls. Where are you? In another fancy room, there is a lady sitting on a throne knitting. Hello, Peppa says. Have you seen the Queen today? I am the Queen, the lady says. The children are very excited to meet you, Your Majesty, says Miss Rabbit. I'm excited to meet all of you, the Queen says, standing up. And now for Miss Rabbit's medal.
Wow!
This is the Queen's award for industry. Keep up the good work. The Queen puts a shiny gold medal over Miss Rabbit's head. Cheers for Miss Rabbit, the Queen says. Hip hip, hooray, shout the children. Miss Rabbit and the children wear their boots to go out into the palace gardens with the Queen.
Do you play in your garden all the time, your majesty? Danny Dog asks. I don't have time for playing, no, answers the Queen. She suddenly stops. Oh dear, a muddy puddle. Never mind, we can walk around it. You can't walk around a muddy puddle, Peppa says. You have to jump in it. Peppa shows the Queen how to jump up and down in a muddy puddle. I say, that does look fun, the Queen says. Here one goes then. Stop! Shouts Peppa. Everyone gasps. If you jump in muddy puddles, Peppa says, you must wear your boots, your majesty. The Queen goes inside and comes back with her boots on. Everyone loves jumping up and down in muddy puddles, including the Queen. The end. Peppa Pig, Babysitting. Mummy and Daddy Pig are going out for the evening. Granny and Grandpa Pig are babysitting Peppa and George.
Hooray!
Granny Pig, Grandpa Pig, says Peppa happily. Daddy eat, Papa eat. George joins in. Good night, says Daddy Pig. Good night, says Mummy Pig. Now go to sleep quickly. What little darlings, says Granny Pig, so well behaved. Peppa yawns and Daddy Pig switches off the bedroom light. Mummy and Daddy Pig leave for their evening out. Inside the house, Grandpa and Granny sit down on the sofa. They share a tasty pizza. This babysitting is easy, says Grandpa Pig. In the bedroom, Peppa does not want to go to sleep. George, are you awake? She whispers. George grunts excitedly. Peppa laughs. She climbs down the bunk bed ladder and switches on the bedroom light. George picks up a spotted ball and bounces it to Peppa. She bounces it back. They both giggle. Soon there are toys all over the floor. It is so hard to go to sleep when playing is much more fun. Grandpa Pig and Granny Pig are watching TV. Peppa and George come downstairs to the living room. George and I are not sleepy at all, says Peppa. Can we watch TV with you? I suppose watching a little TV might make you sleepy, says Granny Pig.
Hooray!
The TV show is about gardening. This programme is very boring, says Peppa, yawning. She suggests playing a game instead. Grandpa, can you throw us up and catch us? Asked Peppa. Okay, but just one turn each, says Grandpa. Peppa laughs as Grandpa Pig throws her in the air, then catches her. You seem heavier than before, says Grandpa Pig. Now it is George's turn, says Grandpa Pig. George loves feeling like he's flying. Hiya, hiya, shouts George, as Grandpa Pig starts to wheeze. Maybe Grandpa is a bit tired, says Granny Pig. Granny, let's play it, says Peppa. You're it. Peppa taps Granny Pig on the nose. Granny Pig chases Peppa, George and Grandpa Pig around the sofa. I'm going to catch you, she cries. Everyone runs and giggles. Later, Mummy and Daddy Pig arrive back home. I hope our little piggies are asleep, says Mummy Pig. Peppa, George, Grandpa Pig and Granny Pig are all snoring on the sofa. The little piggies are asleep, whispers Daddy Pig, and so are the big piggies. The end. Peppa Pig, Peppa's Treehouse. Peppa and her family are visiting Granny and Grandpa Pig. I'm making you a tree house, says Grandpa Pig. I just need to finish the roof. Finished, says Grandpa Pig.
Hooray!
And I've made some curtains for the window, says Granny Pig. Thank you, Grandpa, thank you, Granny, cries Peppa. Peppa and George love their treehouse. Ho ho, who wants to go inside first? Asked Grandpa Pig. Me, cry Peppa and George, jumping up and down. Peppa climbs up the ladder. Before I go inside the treehouse, I must take off my boots, she says. Peppa quickly kicks him off, and they land on the grass. Inside the treehouse, Peppa closes the door and pulls open the curtains.
Wow!
I'm in my treehouse, she shouts out of the window. George, do you want to go inside too? Asked Daddy Pig. George nods. Peppa and George hear a knock at the door. Do you have any room for visitors? Asked Mummy Pig. You have to say the secret words first. They are Daddy's big tummy, whispers Peppa. Mummy Pig says the words Daddy's big tummy and goes inside. I think we should have different secret words, says Daddy Pig. Daddy Pig tries to squeeze himself in, but he gets stuck. Your tummy is too big, says Peppa. Grandpa Pig has an idea. Daddy Pig can climb in through the top, he suggests.
Wow!
Grandpa Pig lifts off the roof and Daddy Pig climbs inside. Then he puts the roof back on.
Hooray!
Peppa and her family are all squashed inside. Everyone gets out apart from Peppa. Granny, I love our treehouse. I don't want to ever come out, she cries. Are you sure you don't want to visit me in my house? Asks Granny Pig. No, thank you, says Peppa. In that case, Grandpa Pig and I will have to eat these homemade cookies all by ourselves, says Granny Pig, heading back to her house. Cookies! Cries Peppa. She runs to Granny Pig, who has a plate of yummy cookies. If you want some, you have to say the secret words, says Granny Pig. That's easy. Daddy's big tummy, cries Peppa. Granny gives Peppa a cookie.
Hooray!
I still think those are very silly words, says Daddy Pig, taking a cookie too. The end. Peppa Pig and a busy day at school. It's Special Talent Day at school, and Peppa is very excited. She has many different talents, so she hasn't decided which one to share.
Wow!
Maybe I will jump rope, says Peppa, or sing or dance. Mummy Pig, Daddy Pig, Peppa and George eat a good pancake breakfast. They get in the car and go to school. Peppa's friends have already arrived. Pedro Pony, Candy Cat and Rebecca Rabbit are there.
Hooray!
Good morning, says Madame Gazelle. Are you ready for Special Talent Day? We'll share our talents this afternoon, but first we have a very busy day. The class practices counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, begins Madame Gazelle. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, shouts the class. Then Madame Gazelle asks the class to name things that begin with each letter of the alphabet. A. Apple. B. Balloon. C. Cake. D. Dinosaur. E. Eggs. F. Fish. G. Guitar. H. Hat. I for ice cream. J for jam. K for kite. L for ladder. M for monkey. N for newspaper. O for owl. P for pizza. Q for queen. R for rocket. S for scooter. T for truck. U for umbrella. V for violin. W for watermelon. X for xylophone. Y for yarn. And Z for Zoe Zebra. Then it's time to play store. Peppa and Susie are the shopkeepers. What would you like? Asked Peppa. Do you have any cookies? Asked Danny Dog. No, says Peppa. But we do have a toy telephone that will be $1. Thank you, says Danny Dog. Do you have a loaf of bread? Asked Pedro Pony. No, says Peppa, but we do have a dollhouse. Well, okay, says Pedro Pony. What can I buy for $100? Asked Rebecca Rabbit. How about a carrot? Says Peppa. Everyone laughs. Next, it's time to paint. Peppa wants to teach George how to paint a flower.
Wow.
Make a circle, says Peppa. George paints a green circle. Then he paints a green zigzag line. That's not right, George, says Peppa. George keeps painting. Madame Gazelle looks at Peppa's painting. What a lovely flower, she says. And George has painted a dinosaur. Perfect. At lunchtime, Peppa and George eat sandwiches with Danny Dog. There's watermelon for dessert. There's a new tire swing and Peppa wants to try it out. She squeezes in. Help! She cries, I'm stuck! Oh no! Peppa looks funny in the swing, but Peppa doesn't think being stuck is funny. Her friends try to help. They pull and pull and pull. Out comes Peppa.
Hooray!
Let's play on the slide, she says. It's time for music, 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 sings Madame Gazelle.
Hooray!
Everyone choose an instrument. Danny chooses the bongo drums. Look, I've got cymbals, says Rebecca. Zoe gets maracas. Freddie chooses a triangle. And Pedro has a tambourine. Everyone plays together. Boom, bang, crash. Oh my, cries Madame Gazelle. That sounds a bit more like noise than music. Let's go one at a time. Then each of you can join in. Ding, 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 goes the triangle. Boom, 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 goes Peppa's bass drum. Bang, 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 go the bongo drums. Crash, 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 go the cymbals. Shaka, 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 go the maracas. Lovely, says Madame Gazelle. Finally, it is time for special talent. Everyone takes a turn. Danny Dog's special talent is drumming. Bang, bang, bang. Pedro Pony does a magic trick. Everyone closes their eyes and he makes a glass of water disappear.
Hooray!
Zoe Zebra sings. Candy Cat jumps rope. Oh no, thinks Peppa. Now I can't do either of those. It's a good thing I'm good at dancing too. Then Susie Sheep gets up. I'm going to dance, she says. Oh no, says Peppa. What's the matter? Asks Madame Gazelle. I don't have a special talent that hasn't been done already, says Peppa. Of course you do, says Madame Gazelle. Think of something you really like to do. Peppa is quiet. She thinks. Then she smiles. I know, she says. She grabs her boots. Follow me. I'm the best at jumping in muddy puddles. Peppa jumps in a muddy puddle. Then everyone jumps in muddy puddles. This has been a very good day at school, says Peppa. And it has. The end. Peppa Pig, Fun in the Sun. Peppa Pig has fun. She has fun in the sun. She has fun when she jumps. Jump, jump, jump. She has fun when she hunts. Hunt, hunt, hunt. She has fun when she tugs.
Hooray!
Tug, tug, tug. She has fun when she runs. Run, run, run.
Wow!
She has fun in the mud. Mud, mud, mud. Peppa had fun in the mud. Now she must have fun in the tub. Scrub, scrub, scrub. The end.
Peppa Pig. George catches a cold. Mummy Pig has said Peppa and George can play in the rain, but they must wear rain clothes to keep them dry. But George hates wearing his rain hat, so he has thrown it in a muddy puddle. George! Come inside, children, calls Daddy Pig. It's raining too hard now. Where's your hat, George? Asked Mummy Pig.
Achoo! Achoo!
Replies George. Oh dear, George has caught a cold.
Achoo!
George cannot stop sneezing. Poor little George, says Mummy Pig. You don't look very well. Don't worry, I'll call Dr. Brown Bear, says Daddy Pig.
Will George go to the hospital?
Asks Peppa. No, George has to go to bed, replies Daddy.
So George is not truly sick then?
Says Peppa, disappointed. George, you have to stay in bed until you are better, says Daddy Pig.
Why?
Asked George. Because you have to keep warm, says Daddy. Dr. Brown Bear is here to see George. Open wide and say, "Ah," he says. George is a little afraid of Dr. Brown Bear. He hides under his sheets with Mr. Dinosaur. Dr. Brown Bear asks Peppa to show George that he does not have to be scared. "Ah," says Peppa. George laughs and comes out from under his sheets. He opens his mouth so Dr. Brown Bear can look.
Ah!
Says George. George has caught a cold, Dr. Brown Bear tells Mummy Pig. He can have some warm milk at bedtime to help him sleep. Thank you, Dr. Brown Bear, says Mummy Pig. You're welcome. Goodbye, says Dr. Brown Bear before driving off in his special white car. The next morning, George wakes up early. The warm milk made him sleep very well.
Wow!
Cries George, waking up Peppa. He is feeling much better. It is a lovely sunny day, but George is wearing his rain hat. He doesn't want to catch another cold. Oh, George, you don't need to wear your hat when it is warm and sunny, Mummy Pig tells him. Everyone laughs. The end. Happy birthday, Peppa. Once upon a time, it was nearly Peppa's birthday, and she was on the telephone to Susie's sheep.
I'm going to have a party, and Daddy is doing a magic show,
Peppa told Susie excitedly. Ho ho! I hope you don't mind, Daddy, Mummy Pig whispered. I promise, Peppa. Ho ho! Not at all, Daddy Pig replied. Of course, the amazing Mysterio will make an appearance. George was excited too. He loved parties and magic shows. Peppa wanted to start planning her party straight away. She asked Mummy Pig if she could invite all of her friends. Yes, Mummy Pig said, and George can invite some too.
But George's friends are little,
Peppa said. Mummy Pig told Peppa that she could teach George's friends all the party games.
Wow!
Oh yes, I am very good at that,
agreed Peppa. Soon it was Peppa's birthday. It was very early in the morning, but Peppa was already wide awake.
Wake up, Daddy, it's my birthday,
Peppa shouted, bouncing on Mummy and Daddy Pig's bed.
What time is it? asked Mummy Pig. Daddy Pig checked. It was 5 o'clock in the morning. By 7 o'clock, everyone was dressed and ready for breakfast. OK, let's get your birthday started, Mummy Pig said. George passed Peppa her birthday present. Happy birthday, Peppa, Mummy and Daddy Pig said together. George said. Peppa tore off the pretty paper excitedly. It was a pink polka dot doll's dress for Teddy.
Wow!
Thank you, everyone, she cried. Ding dong! Peppa's friends had arrived. Happy birthday, Peppa! Shouted Candy Cat,
Meow.
Susie Sheep, Danny Dog, Rebecca Rabbit, Zoe Zebra, Emily Elephant and Pedro Pony. George's little friends were there too. Squeak! said Richard Rabbit, Edmund Elephant and Zuzu and Zaza Zebra. Peppa explained how to play musical statues to George and his friends. You have to dance when the music is playing, and when it stops, freeze like a statue. Click! Danny Dog pressed play on the stereo, but no one moved. You got to dance, Peppa called. The little children started to dance. Head, shoulders, knees and toes. Click! Danny Pig turned off the stereo. George, Richard, Edmund, Zuzu and Zaza froze. You're moving, George, Peppa said. You're out. George cried very loudly. One by one, all of George's friends were out, except for Zaza. Zaza is the winner, Emily Elephant announced. Here's your medal, she added, looping the red ribbon around the little zebra's neck. It's made of real plastic gold, Candy Cat said.
Meow.
Cried George, Richard, Edmund and Zuzu. They wanted medals too. Daddy Pig hurried in to cheer everyone up with a magic show. Peppa, whispered Daddy Pig, remember to introduce me as the amazing Mysterio. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Magic Daddy, said Peppa. Hooray! The audience cheered and clapped. Magic Daddy took off his top hat and waved a hand over it, ready to perform his first trick.
Wow!
Ta-da! Teddy appeared from Magic Daddy's hat. The children clapped again. For my next trick, I need a helper from the audience, said Magic Daddy. Everyone put their hands up. Magic Daddy chose Susie Sheep. Okay, Susie, here are 3 coloured balls, he said, turning his back and closing his eyes. You have to secretly choose one while I'm not looking. Susie picked up the red ball. Abracadabra, Magic Daddy said. You chose yellow, Magic Daddy guessed. No, said Susie Sheep. Magic Daddy guessed again. You chose blue. No, Susie Sheep said. Magic Daddy had one more guess. You chose red. Yes, Susie Sheep said. Hooray! The children cheered and clapped. Peppa wasn't sure Magic Daddy should have said all 3 colours, but she clapped along anyway. Next, Magic Daddy turned off the lights. Close your eyes. No peeping. Now say the magic word. Abracadabra! The children cried. Open your eyes, cried Magic Daddy, turning the lights back on. The children opened their eyes. Ooh, they gasped. Mummy Pig was holding a delicious-looking cake with 4 candles on it. My banana birthday cake, cried Peppa. Blow the candles out, Peppa, Mummy said. And don't forget to make a wish, Daddy Pig added. Peppa squeezed her eyes shut and wished very hard. Then she blew them all out at once. Hooray! Cheered her friends. Happy birthday, Peppa! Susie Sheep asked her what she'd wished, but Peppa wouldn't tell. She really wanted her birthday wish to come true. And finally, announced Magic Daddy, I have one last trick to amaze you with. Abracadabra! He pulled a present from his top hat and handed it to Peppa. Peppa squealed, tearing off the paper and opening the box. Inside was a beautiful pair of yellow wellies. Right, boots on everyone, Mummy Pig called. All the children ran to the hall to put on their wellies. What's happening? Peppa asked. Why has everyone brought their boots? Peppa, George and their friends followed Mummy Pig out into the garden. Peppa was so excited she couldn't stop skipping. Daddy Pig and George quickly picked up 2 buckets and poured water all over the grass. Surprise! Everyone shouted. Happy birthday, Peppa! Puddles! Hooray! Peppa yelled, leaping in and jumping up and down. My birthday wish came true! Come on, everyone! Mummy Pig, Daddy Pig, George, George's friends and Peppa's friends all jumped in. Everyone loves jumping in muddy puddles. This is the best birthday ever! Shouted Peppa. The end. My Mummy and Me. This is Mummy and me. We do everything together. I love doing things with my mummy because she can do anything.
Wow!
Great steering, Mummy. Here are some of our favourite things to do. We love racing downhill together as fast as we possibly can. Wee, look out, Peppa. My mummy is super fast. We love making little craft projects together. And enormous ones too. Just a few more hours and we'll be finished, Peppa. My mummy is super at crafts. We love looking for adventures together, like zooming deep down into caves.
Wow!
And deep down into snow. My mummy is a super adventurer. We love having fun together at soft play. I think her favourite part is the ball pit. I need a little help, Peppa. My mummy is super funny. We love dressing up together. We pretend to be lots of incredibly important people. And other things too. My mummy is a super dresser-upper. we love dancing together. We spin around and around and around and fall over. Again and again and again. My mummy is a super dancer. But most of all, we love soaring high over the mountains together. Sometimes even without a plane. Don't look down, Peppa. My mummy and me love doing everything together because my mummy is super mummy.
Wow.
The end.
Peppa gives thanks. It is a lovely sunny morning. Peppa and Susie are having a tea party in the garden.
I brought my teddy to join us,
Says Peppa.
Did you bring your owl, Susie? No,
Says Susie.
I brought my new Mr. Super Snuggles. He's the best bear in the world. What does he do?
Peppa asks.
He can sing,
Says Susie.
and say I love you, and his eyes light up. Wow,
Says Peppa.
my teddy can't do any of those things.
When Peppa gets home, she finds Mummy and Daddy Pig.
I would like a Mr. Super Snuggles, please.
She says. But you have a teddy bear, Peppa, says Mummy Pig.
My teddy is boring.
Peppa snorts.
He can't sing or talk, and his eyes don't light up.
Ho, ho, ho. Daddy Pig laughs. Come, Peppa, let me show you something. Daddy Pig shows Peppa a photo album. There are lots of pictures inside. This is when we went camping, Peppa. And to the beach. And on a hot air balloon ride. And who is in all the pictures with you? Asked Daddy Pig.
My teddy,
Cries Peppa. Right, says Daddy Pig. You've had Teddy ever since you were a little piggy. That makes him very special. We have to be thankful for the things that we have, says Mummy Pig.
what's thankful?
Asked Peppa. It means we're happy for the wonderful things in our lives, said Mummy Pig. What are you thankful for, Peppa? Peppa thinks.
My toys.
She runs upstairs. Her room is filled with lots of lovely toys. What else? Asked Mummy Pig.
Our house.
Cries Peppa.
I love our house and our car and our garden.
Ho ho, laughs Daddy Pig. Anything else? Peppa thinks. I know something I'm thankful for, says Mummy Pig. What? Asked Peppa. You and George and Daddy Pig, of course, says Mummy Pig. Peppa giggles.
I'm thankful for that too. And I'm thankful for Susie Sheep and all my friends.
Says Peppa.
And Granny and Grandpa Pig.
Let's call Granny and Grandpa Pig right now, says Mummy Pig. We can invite them to a special dinner. Later that day, Granny and Grandpa Pig arrive. Mummy and Daddy Pig make a delicious dinner for everyone. Peppa and George help set the table. This looks wonderful, says Granny Pig. Thank you for inviting us over. Peppa, would you like to tell Granny and Grandpa what you learned today? Asked Daddy Pig.
Yes, says Peppa. I learned that I'm thankful. I'm thankful for my toys and our house and my friends. How lovely, says Granny Pig. But most of all, I'm thankful for my family, says Peppa. And my teddy.
Peppa loves being thankful. Everyone loves being thankful. Especially when there's so much to be thankful for. The end. Peppa goes to hospital. Today, we are going to visit Pedro Pony in hospital, Madame Gazelle tells the class. Pedro's leg is broken and the doctors are mending it. Peppa has never been to the hospital before.
Except when I was born, of course, Peppa says. I'm wearing my nurse's outfit,
Susie Sheep says.
because hospitals are very serious.
But when the class arrives on the children's ward, the walls are full of colour. Ooh, they all say as they set off to find Pedro. Pedro is in bed with his leg in a plaster cast.
Does it hurt?
Zoe Zebra asks.
It did at first,
Pedro says.
but not anymore. Do you want to draw on it? What's it like being in hospital?
Asks Peppa.
It's great,
Replies Pedro.
Nurse gives me stickers and comes whenever I press this button.
Another nurse comes over with a trolley. Lunchtime, she says.
Spaghetti and sponge pudding, please,
Says Pedro.
Wow, you get to eat in bed,
Gasps Peppa. Dr. Brown Bear visits Pedro. You're nearly better and ready to go home. The bell rings. Visiting time has ended.
Get well soon,
Wave the children. A few days later, Pedro is back.
Where is your plaster cast?
Asks his friends.
My leg is all better. It's a super leg now.
Pedro says.
Thank you for visiting me in hospital.
The end. Peppa's Australian Underwater Adventure. Peppa was very excited. She had just won a Great Barrier Reef art competition at the aquarium.
Congrats, Peppa,
said Miss Rabbit.
Your prize is to join me on a marine biology trip to Australia.
Wow.
Hooray, cheered Peppa. What's marine biology? It's learning about the plants and animals that live in the sea,
explained Miss Rabbit. Ooh, said Peppa.
We're going to stay with Mrs. Kangaroo, continued Miss Rabbit. She will teach us how to scuba dive in the Great Barrier Reef.
What an amazing prize for a competition, said Mummy Pig, a bit surprised.
Well, Peppa's drawing was very imaginative, said Miss Rabbit.
Her picture wasn't exactly like any fish I have ever seen, but it was a prize-winning picture. I see, said Mummy Pig. There's nothing wrong with a bit of imagination, is there?
Of course, you, Daddy Pig and George will be coming to Australia too, Miss Rabbit told Mummy Pig. How lovely, replied Mummy Pig. Thank you, Mrs. Rabbit. Peppa and her family are very excited to be seeing their friends in Australia again.
Hooray!
We'll be leaving first thing tomorrow, said Miss Rabbit. Right then, said Mummy Pig. We'd better head to the shops and get everything we need for the trip. Peppa, George, Mummy and Daddy Pig headed to Mr. Fox's shop and told him what they needed. Mr. Fox got everything out. Now, he said, I think you'll also need some paper and colouring pens. You never know when they might come in handy. I'm not sure we do, began Mummy Pig. Trust me, Mummy Pig, Mr. Fox interrupted. You'll definitely need these. Oh, okay then, said Mummy Pig. Thank you for your help, Mr. Fox. We must get going now so we can pack all of this. The next morning, Peppa and her family woke up very early and hopped on the aeroplane to Australia. Where's Miss Rabbit? Asked Daddy Pig. I think she's finding her own way there, replied Mummy Pig. While Peppa, George, Mummy and Daddy Pig flew on an aeroplane, Miss Rabbit travelled to Australia by hot air balloon, helicopter, and boat. Ahoy there! Amazingly, Miss Rabbit arrived in Australia at the exact same time as Peppa and her family. Welcome to Australia, everyone, said Miss Kangaroo. It's so good to see you, said Kylie Kangaroo, giving Peppa a big hug. After they were settled in, Mrs. Kangaroo went through the diving plan with Kylie, Peppa and Miss Rabbit. There are so many amazing creatures to discover in the Great Barrier Reef, she explained. It's an incredible place. Mrs. Kangaroo taught Peppa about diving and marine biology.
Wow!
What does buddy up mean? Asked Peppa. It means we are going to dive in a group, explained Miss Kangaroo. She held up a list of creatures they were going to see and count on their underwater adventure. Green sea turtles, orange clownfish, blue starfish, pink sea anemones, and even whales. Wow! Gasped Peppa. She was so excited. Mrs. Kangaroo drove everyone to the boat. Then they hopped on board with their diving gear and headed out to the diving site. When the boat stopped, Mrs. Kangaroo gave Peppa and Kylie a special underwater list each. It's important that we count the marine life carefully, she said. If you spot anything unusual, let me know. Then Peppa, Miss Rabbit, Kylie and Mrs. Kangaroo jumped backwards off the boat. They dived deep down under the water to the reef. The divers saw lots of amazing plants and animals on the reef. They spotted 5 orange clownfish, 4 pink sea anemones, 3 brilliant blue starfish, 2 big green turtles, and 1 enormous whale. Wow! Said Peppa. It's so colourful down here. Peppa and Miss Rabbit followed the whale further into the reef. Peppa used her diving fins to swim as fast as she could to keep up. and Miss Rabbit paddled along behind her. The whale pointed its fin at a big rock. Peppa peered behind the rock and saw a fish that wasn't on Mrs. Kangaroo's list, poking its head out.
That looks just like the fish I coloured in,
said Peppa. At the end of the dive, everyone climbed back on board the boat.
We counted so many creatures,
said Peppa excitedly.
It was amazing. I also spotted a beautiful fish that wasn't on your list, Miss Kangaroo. What did it look like, Peppa?
asked Kylie.
It looked a bit like a clownfish, said Peppa, but not exactly.
Said Mrs. Kangaroo. Can you describe it a bit more, Peppa? Peppa used the colouring pens from Mr. Fox's shop to draw the fish she had seen. It looked just like her picture from the aquarium.
Wow, that's a lovely fish, Peppa,
said Kylie. Peppa is very good at drawing, said Miss Rabbit. I don't believe it, gasped Mrs. Kangaroo when she saw Peppa's drawing. It looks just like a rare blue clownfish.
Wow.
That hasn't been seen for a while now. Where did you spot it, Peppa? Peppa took everyone back to where she had seen the unusual fish. Mrs. Kangaroo had been searching for the blue clownfish for a long time. Peppa spotted the whale winking at her in the distance.
Thank you for showing us the fish, lovely whale,
Peppa said, winking back. After Mrs. Kangaroo had taken lots of photographs of the fish, she signalled for everyone to swim up to the boat and head back to the shore. That afternoon, Mrs. Kangaroo and her family cooked a big meal to celebrate Peppa's amazing discovery. What do you think of the Great Barrier Reef, Peppa? asked Daddy Pig.
It's the most brilliant place ever, replied Peppa. The fish are just like I imagined they would be.
She held up her picture from the art competition. It looked exactly like the fish she had seen on her dive. Everyone laughed. Peppa loves the beautiful Great Barrier Reef. Everyone loves the beautiful Great Barrier Reef. The end.
Hi kids, did you have fun watching this video? Then like and subscribe for more.